Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, with our resident expert, Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO. And we're going to talk some powerful business strategies. If you tuned in last week, you heard what we're going to talk about this week. But because it was so weird, because, last week I was just seeing a video about somebody talking about how they love public speaking. And most people absolutely hate it, fear it. It's feared more than death, but there's serious value. So let's talk about the value of public speaking.
Well, Dean, I got to tell you my story. I used to, I don't want to call it pass out, but the fright was so fearful. It would interrupt my voice. My voice would change. People could tell that I was nervous because I was shaking all over the place. I used to, when I was, before I owned Ski Town, I was in financial, I was a senior financial analyst for Fortune 500 companies. And I remember specifically one day I had to give just a little testimonial to an employee. This is like anything like I'm doing now, I could never have done, several years ago, because it's just, this is just beyond my way over my fear level. So it was just a little testimonial for an employee. I couldn't finish it. I had to get my boss, who was there, had to kind of push me off the stage and finish it. And because the fear of public speaking I had was equal to, if you're falling off a 20-story building, how do you feel between stories 25 and 15? That's the fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty bad. That's pretty fearful. And that was a consistent fear. And so what I did is I went to Toastmasters for 10 years. And that had an incredibly favorable impact. And the club that I went to was every 2 weeks, and you go at your own pace, and it was incredibly valuable. It doesn't, it's like if you're a compulsive gambler, you're always a compulsive gambler, even though you're cured.
Yeah.
If you have a fear of public speaking, you always have a fear of public speaking, but I learned how to manage it so that so that the fear isn't evident. And the fear isn't, as it goes away. It actually goes away. So
I have a tidbit to add to that too.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And from my experience, every single public speaker on the planet has a fear of public speaking. I'm just saying it right now.
Right. I think you're right.
And what happens to me, it's like music artists too. I interview a lot of music artists. Every one of them has stage fright till they get on stage. And that happens to me too. When I do seminars or public speaking events, before I get on the stage, I'm like going through it in my mind, like nervous. Am I going to forget this? Am I going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. The minute that mic turns on, the minute I get on that stage, there's a switch that switches in my brain because of techniques and because of practice and because of being used to it, that I just go into a natural mode that I'm not in when I'm off the stage, and I get in the zone, and then all those things I was nervous about, they don't even occur to me while I'm on stage.
Right. I know. It's amazing. Isn't it amazing? It really is. So anyway, now we're here to talk about the value of public speaking, but I wanted to share that story because there's a lot of people who could use the help, and Toastmasters is just unbelievable. I know that people say, oh, I have to go to a meeting every couple of weeks and all that, but it is incredibly valuable.
I'm a big advocate. Okay, as somebody that was a member of the National Speakers Association and the Florida Speakers Association and Toastmasters, I think out of all of them, Toastmasters was the most beneficial because you're around other people like yourself in the same situation, and you get to cheer each other on and support each other and help each other.
Right. And they go right down to the detail, Dean, where they count your oohs and ahs. You know what I mean? They go right down to the detail. So if you're somebody who says a lot of ahs, you're going to hear it from an evaluator at
Yeah.
Toastmasters.
Yeah.
And so they go right down to that level. And they also go down to the grammarian level. They check your grammar. If you made some grammatical mistakes while speaking, they're going to point it out. So that's the granular level that they go down, that they utilize at Toastmasters. That's so effective. It's just such an effective methodology.
That's what I think makes it better than the other associations, because the other associations, you just go to workshops and seminars to learn, whereas this is something that is interactive, engaging, and gives you specific feedback for you, opposed to some cookie cutter information.
Right. And there's plenty of speaking parts at a meeting. It's not just the speech giver. It's also like you could be a grammarian. You got to get up and explain, oh, he used this type of language and this type of language, and this was incorrect, and that kind of thing. So it is incredibly beneficial. But today we are talking about the value of public speaking, and it's incredible. Whether it's live is always better, but whether it's live or even online, the public speaking person is the person who's speaking is the authority, is looked at as the authority, and it carries a ton of weight, and it allows people to even make offers from the stage, which is a technique that's utilized every day, 9 million times a day.
Right.
And so to learn the skill, and once again, Toastmasters is the place to go. It's cheap, real cheap. I think I paid $90 a year for my membership. But if you can get that skill, and it doesn't take that long, you can go as fast as you want in Toastmasters. That's the beauty of it. Some people they go from zero to hero in about 6 months, not 6 to 9 months, because they want to go really fast, and they want to make sure that they pick up that skill quickly. But it teaches you everything, and to have that skill mastered is absolutely invaluable. It's been absolutely invaluable to me, and I think that. And by the way, you can ask Warren Buffett. He'll tell you the same thing, that public speaking is one of the greatest skills that you can acquire. And for those who aren't mobile for whatever reason and can't get out, even Zoom appearances have this. You're still the authority. If you're running a meeting on Zoom, if you're running a webinar on Zoom, you are the authority. You're getting the attention. You're going to be the focal point, and they're going to listen to you.
I want to speak to some benefits of what you're talking about authority,
yeah.
Because I'm just going to say that, first of all, yes, you are deemed the authority, which gives you more credibility.
Right.
They automatically assume you're experienced, you're educated, you're trained. They automatically assume you're an expert. It puts you on a higher level than your competition. It also allows you to create these relationships before you have a relationship, okay? Because how many people attend some kind of event where there's a speaker that they absolutely become a super fan of that speaker because of that, and they're the ones going to the speaker asking to do business, opposed to you having to try to sell them. So it just puts you way above, and it commands more revenue too, because what you charge compared to somebody that's not doing public speaking charges, you can command a lot more money, and people will pay it because people perceive value that you're a public speaker, because they assume you must be an expert.
Right. It's so true. It's so true. It's just a great vehicle. And like I said, if you're not mobile, go ahead and do webinars and present online. It's not as good, but it certainly carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, totally. And I will also add too that you know, it also saves you time as a business person and effort, because the way I look at it is I'd rather, if I'm going to pitch my product, my service, my message, whatever it is, it's a hell of a lot better to pitch it to a whole room full of people at once, opposed to, let's say you even only have like 200 people in the room. It'd be a lot better to pitch them all at once than to go and visit each and every one of those people. And then you talk to bigger numbers where you have 10, 20, 50,000 people. There's no way you're going to see those or talk to those people individually. So you'll get business that you would have never gotten before because you're reaching a much larger prospect database.
Absolutely. It's called the one-to-many model.
Yes, exactly.
One-to-many. Instead of one-to-one, it's one-to-many.
That's the way it should be.
Right. I agree.
So how can people contact you for more insight on the value of public speaking and just powerful business strategies in general?
Go to nextstepcfo.net. You can download our book for free. You could also go to the contact page. Love to do a book interview with business owners. So because I'm always updating my book called Powerful Business Strategies, and it's 60 minutes on Zoom. I present strategies from my book, and then I ask you how the strategy would work if business owners were to implement it in your industry, and then I document it for the book. So it's real simple. I get value out of it, so I can make sure I keep my book updated with the latest strategies, and then you get a value when you hear the strategies and how they work. So go to nextstepcfo.net, go to the contact form at the top of the page, fill out the form, and in the message section, put book interview, and away we go.
Nice. Away we go. And listen, I have to agree with you. If Warren Buffett is successful with it and thinks it's a good idea, everybody should do it, because listen, you always want to pattern yourself after success.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks once again, and we will talk again next week here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, the Positively Pipeman segment. And I think we should discuss some creative follow-up methods.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.